The views or opinions expressed on Ann Arbor Inclusive do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the City of Ann Arbor and the Commission on Disability Issues. For more information about the Ann Arbor Commission on Disability Issues, please visit a2gov.org/disability resources.
Hello everyone and welcome to Ann Arbor Inclusive. I'm Zach Damon. We have a wonderful show for you today as Trooper Olivia Sivy of the Michigan State Troopers joins us in studio, and I'd like to thank you, Trooper, for joining me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. But if you don't mind, let's get the ball rolling, shall we?
Sounds good.
So for those that are unaware, what are the differences between city and state law enforcement, and who do you serve?
Okay, good question, because a lot of people just don't quite get that one. As a state trooper, we cover the entire state of Michigan. So while I am only out of the Brighton post, if I need to go up to the UP, for example, I still have jurisdiction up there. I can still go enforce the law up in the UP or the west side of the state, east side of the state, doesn't matter. For a city officer, they are, one, they're called officers. We're called troopers.
Right.
City officers are just limited to their city.
Okay.
So their boundaries of whatever that city is limited to. So for Ann Arbor City, they're limited to the city of Ann Arbor.
Got it.
For county officers, or correction, county deputies, they are for that county. So Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office is for the county of Washtenaw.
Okay.
So that's kind of the difference. We have a little bit of a misconception is, oh, well, you're a state trooper, so all you do is go out on the expressways and pull cars over.
Sure.
That's not exactly what we do.
Okay.
We do that, but we also take calls from 911 calls that come in to dispatch.
Oh, wow.
So if we've got 911 calls that come in and there's, say it's a domestic or a lost child,
Sure.
we still get sent to all those as well.
Wow. I mean, a lot of coverage, but also an extreme amount of responsibility, wearing that badge that says Michigan State Trooper on it or Michigan State Police, to cover the entire state of Michigan.
Yes.
And that's incredible that, you're able to even, enforce the law in the UP as well. On that, the Michigan State Police, though, has done a great thing. You continue to build autism awareness within the state and within law enforcement. Why is this important within the law enforcement community?
Well, we have as a responsibility of ours to try and decipher who we're dealing with on a regular basis. So if we're coming into a situation and it's somebody that's maybe not listening to our instruction, but maybe if they are dealing with autism, there's so many different spectrums that someone dealing with autism has. We have to be able to assess if that's what's going on.
Sure.
And be able to change how we talk to them.
Okay.
In order to allow them to answer the questions that we need to do and follow our instruction.
Correct.
And to make sure that they're safe along with the people around them.
And so what kind of resources have been, I guess, put forward to make that happen? Has it been implemented into training situations? Have they gone through different exercises to really understand how to deal with that, the troopers?
We've got training that we start as early as the academy when you go through the academy. And each trooper ends up, actually, I brought a card with me.
Sure.
A card so that they have a checklist that goes through and goes, okay, so if they're dealing with this, maybe they're not making eye contact with me. Maybe they're not answering my questions, or if they're rocking. It gives us an idea so that they can go, okay, I remember that training. What did they tell me? Let me just consult my quick little handy-dandy note so that we make sure that we're all treating everybody with the utmost
Do you mind
respect.
if I see that, Trooper?
Absolutely.
Just 1 second. I just want us to get a shot of this here. So this is amazing. Every officer carries one of these.
Every trooper on the road has one.
And it has all these wonderful resources on it. So you give this out to people that you encounter, and then it talks about.
And it's it's actually even for us so that we have those at our fingertips to know, okay, wait, I remember them saying something about they might not have eye contact with me. What did I need to do to help them understand what I'm asking them to?
Great.
Or questions that we might have to change.
Right.
For instance, maybe where are your parents? Change that to, are your parents home?
Right.
Just a little bit of a different way we speak to them is how that they can be a little bit more comfortable with us.
Wow, wonderful. And so how long have you guys had these cards? Were they implemented a while back?
from what I understand a while back.
Okay.
I've had it since I went through recruit school 5 years ago.
Okay.
So
Wow. That's awesome. And you bring me to another question too. I mean, what first got you interested in working with the Michigan State Police? I mean, was working in law enforcement always something that you wanted to do?
as a child, it was an interest of mine.
Okay.
However, when I found out that I had an artistic ability, I kind of went down that road, and I was in graphic design for 13 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Until, economy takes a turn, and you
Yep.
kind of have to adapt to what you need to do to make sure you can pay the bills.
Oh, of course.
I was working for a church at part-time, directing Sunday mornings and producing Sunday mornings, along with all the graphics that they had.
Wow.
And then I was also loss prevention for Meyer.
Oh, okay.
I decided that I needed to go back for my bachelor degree,
Okay.
because you can't get anywhere nowadays without a bachelor degree,
Yeah.
at least.
Right.
So I went back to school and found out that since I am older, the general education credits that I got from my associate degree didn't transfer.
Oh.
I had to start all over.
Oh my gosh.
So a little bit rough, but
Yeah.
went to see an advisor, explained both of my jobs, and they pretty much told me, so you want my opinion? I go, you're going to tell me to change my major? And they said, absolutely. The way you talk about one in comparison to the other is night and day.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking into all of the law enforcement agencies and what they offer, and training-wise and that sort of thing. And Michigan State Police came to the top by far. The training that we get is unpassed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and of course, I personally think that, the Michigan State Police has a tremendous reputation. When you see a trooper, they're a trooper, and they're there to keep you safe and protect you, and that trooper is on duty and they mean business, and no one can miss those cars either.
Absolutely.
And in my opinion, when I see that, I feel safe, and I'm grateful for the work that the Michigan State Police does, and their sacrifice of all the officers on the road, putting their lives on the line to make sure that everyone within the state is safe and continues to be. So thank you for doing that.
Very welcome.
You talked about it earlier in one of your responses, but I'd like to go back to it a little bit.
Sure.
But what are some of the biggest, again, misconceptions about the Michigan State Police, and how do you as a trooper, kind of overcome them and stay motivated, right? Because it can be, wouldn't it wear down on you, right, with all the developments that happen, or stories you hear about other troopers that are on the job, when they're really getting up every day to serve something bigger than themselves, do something bigger than themselves, and yet they get that treatment day in and day out sometimes. How does a trooper stay motivated? How do you?
Yeah, you get the negative responses, but then you also have the positive ones too. So you have people that end up sending you a thank you card, and it's something that we just did in our job. We just came to make sure that their family member was safe, or to check on them because they hadn't heard from them and found out that, their power had been off for 2 days, and that's why they couldn't call, or that's why they couldn't get a hold of them. But you get thank you cards from them, or they drop by the post and they bring sweets or food for everybody at the post, just as a thank you for doing what we do. And it's what we do. I mean, that's just what we do on a regular basis, and that extra thank you, because we don't get those that often, is a big part of what keeps you motivated.
Well, and I think it takes a special type of person to be a Michigan State Trooper. Would you agree?
I completely agree.
Wonderful.
Completely agree.
Definitely. On that, the Michigan State Police proudly is celebrating a century of service this year, having started in 1917. Would you mind talking a bit about some of the Michigan State Police's history and why that's important?
Sure. We started back in 1917, like I said. This year, we've actually implemented our new covers that we're bringing back, that go back to what we wore back in 1917. So it goes back to that. We're doing kind of like a little bit of a throwback, I guess you would say, from our garrison cap to our campaign hats.
All right.
And then we've also done the new cars that you've seen, like typically a state trooper by the blue car with the big red bubble and the stop sign on the front, right?
Yep.
So this year they've also brought back the decals from the 1937 Ford T-74 model.
Wow. Okay.
So it's the black car with the gold decals and the 100th anniversary
Wow.
shield on the side.
Awesome.
Still the red bubble and still the stop sign. We're never going to get rid of that.
Can't
That's
get rid
tradition.
of that.
Nope,
That's
tradition.
right.
Never going to go away.
Yeah. Well, and of course you've supplied us with an amazing video about the history of the Michigan State Police. So let's take a look.
Sounds good.
Deep within the heart, somewhere in the soul, shining through the darkness, there are diamonds in the coal. Down from Lake Superior to the Indiana line, from farm and town and city, we have come so many times. Proud young men and women to answer duty's call, to stand the test, to be the best. Blue diamonds in the coal. Born of emergency when our country went to war, on horseback to the copper mines to guarantee the ore. Vandercook's 300 came, the first troop in the fray. At Bessemer they took a stand and helped to show the way. To serve and protect, to preserve and defend, to know what's right before the fight and follow to the end. From cavalry to trooper, our mission will not fail. We proudly wear the uniform, blue diamonds of the road. When Trooper Harold Anderson was felled in 21, the honor roll of unknown fallen heroes had begun. But many more will follow, and some of us might fall. The right to safely live in freedom matters most of all. We ride upon the highways and high up in the sky, soaring with the righteous stream, our spirit will not die. And those who've gone before us, who made the sacrifice, will always ride beside us through the night. To serve and protect, to preserve and defend, to know what's right before the fight and follow to the end. From cavalry to trooper, our mission will not fail. We proudly wear the uniform, blue diamonds of the road. We will always be there to lend a helping hand, shoulder to shoulder, together we will stand. Though our names will never echo in any hall of fame, we proudly go the hard mile just the same. Down from Lake Superior to the Indiana line, from farm and town and city, we have come so many times. Proud young men and women to answer duty's call, to stand the test and be the best. Blue diamonds in the coal, to stand the test and be the best. Blue diamonds on the roll.
What a wonderful video. Thank you so much for providing that.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
If anybody wants to see more about the history of MSP, we've actually got a museum now at headquarters in Lansing.
Oh my goodness, do you really?
They can tour and see the whole history of MSP.
Wow. Now, does it have like some of the old uniforms that they used to wear?
Has that, has a half a car like out of the wall.
Are you
Like,
kidding
yeah,
me?
absolutely. It's pretty impressive.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to go and check that out. That'd
Yep.
be really cool. So you said it's in Lansing.
Yes, at our headquarters.
Has it been around for a long time, the museum?
Nope, we just built it when they transferred headquarters, so
Really?
yep, it's new
Wow.
this year.
Well, new this year.
Yes.
Okay, oh my goodness. So folks, get a chance to see the Michigan State Police Museum in Lansing. That has to be a lot of fun. And hopefully Ann Arbor Inclusive can get over there and enjoy it ourselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's great. So also, you know, you're located in Brighton, which isn't too far from Ann Arbor. So I wanted to ask you to, you know, what is it that you like best about the Ann Arbor community? I mean, you obviously are in Brighton, but we're not that far away. Is there a couple things that you can say that you like about the city?
Well, and it's kind of funny because, yeah, our post is out of Brighton, but we cover Livingston and Washtenaw.
Oh,
so we're
okay.
here all the time, too.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, yeah, if it's a game at the, a U of M football game, we're down, you're going to see our cars. You're
Yep.
going to see us around.
Yeah.
Just the diversity and the amount of different restaurants, too, are just amazing. A little bit of everything around here, which
Mhm.
is kind of fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you know, great football as you mentioned, so
Yes.
that's not a bad thing at all.
And the hospital, can't pass that up.
Can't beat it.
They've helped my family in more than one way, so it actually ended up saving my cousin's daughter's life. So
Wow. Yeah.
can't say enough about the hospitals.
Oh
here
yeah,
there.
University of
So,
Michigan Hospital,
yeah.
one of the best, and of course,
Yes.
my Children's Hospital also
Yes.
top tier. So go blue.
Yes.
There we go. Can you share, because I'm interested, I'm sure, you know, there's all kinds of memories that pop up, you know, working with the Michigan State Police, but can you share with us, you know, one great memory you have of being involved with the Michigan State Police?
Just one.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you
would
could share
say,
two if
oh,
you
like
want.
I'm gonna pick. I would say I've was doing a forensic presentation to kids
Sure.
at one of the libraries, and one of the parents came up to me and said, "Can you?" Because I call this my Batman belt because what kid doesn't like Batman, right?
Right.
So I go over everything on my tool belt because Batman has a tool belt.
That's right.
So I go over everything and I explain that, this is my holster and this is my gun and this is its home. It doesn't like to come out to play. If it has to protect somebody, it will, but it doesn't like to, it stays at home. I had one mom come up to me, she had 2 kids there, and she goes, "Can you explain a little bit more about that?" And so I explained that it comes out for training,
Yep.
and it comes out to protect somebody, and that's the only time it comes out of home, because everybody likes to stay home sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So upon explaining that to their daughter, she goes, "Do you now understand why Dad got so mad when he came home?" Well, apparently her teacher told her, "Don't trust cops because the only thing they do is shoot people."
Wow.
So thankfully, the parents were on top of that and explained that is not the case. We're here to help. That's our job, is we're here to keep people safe.
Yeah.
So just having that interaction and being able to assure that little girl that that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're here to make sure that everybody is safe.
I mean, talk about a broad stroke and a very
Right.
bold statement.
Right.
My goodness.
Right.
And and it's amazing too, that like I said, Trooper Sivy, that you're there to be able to talk to the younger generations and educate them that it is very unfortunate that those things have happened, and of course, it is a shame. However, that is not the purpose of law enforcement, nor is that the purpose of the Michigan State Police. So
I would say probably another one is a good one, is I'll be out not in uniform, just in my own community, and I'll have little kids come up and go, "You're Trooper Sivy," or "You're Trooper Olivia," because I tell them just call me Trooper Olivia.
Oh, okay.
Because if they're young enough, they're not going to get the last name understanding. So I'm like, "I'm Trooper Olivia." So they'll come up and they're like, "You're Trooper Olivia. You came into my class." And I go, "You're right, I did.
Oh,
Good
my
to see you." So, I mean, I don't even have to be wearing the uniform, and they still know. They still know
Wow.
that you're there to protect them.
Wow, that is amazing. I
It's
mean,
awesome.
there's got to be a great sense of pride and just a really awesome energy when putting that uniform on.
Absolutely.
Because it's
You work hard for the uniform.
oh yeah, no, you sure do. And I mean, do you feel like too, when you're presenting to younger children, I mean, do you see that law enforcement bug, kind of sort of creeping into them and,
Absolutely.
seeing future officers?
Absolutely. Well, there's a number of them that will come up and go, I'm going to be an officer when I grow up. So it's kind of awesome to see that. And to actually, when it actually happens, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't be more proud.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, that's great. And like I said, I think that the Michigan State Police has that program to be able to impact the young people and the youth and have a positive influence, I think is great. But I wanted to touch on too, can you talk about this wonderful little friend you have right next to you, Trooper Teddy? Can we
Yes,
have him over here on the desk? I
absolutely.
just want to get a chance to talk with him for a minute.
So every trooper carries at least one in their car.
Look
So
at
just in case someone is in maybe a traffic crash
Okay.
and there's an upset child or whatever reason, we can hand those out just as an extra little comfort to them. So just a little bit extra, hey, we're here to make sure that you're okay, something that they can hang on to. I mean, there are some kids with autism that something like that is going to help them just calm down and be
Right.
able to answer us and help us get them back where they need to go.
Right. I mean, look
So.
how comfortable he is on camera. He's such a
Right?
natural.
He's
You know,
natural.
not nervous at all, are you? No. Okay. No, I think that's great that you have this to, comfort the young people that you do interact, especially in times that are not so pleasant. So this is amazing, and thank you so much for bringing Trooper Teddy by.
Absolutely.
And Trooper Teddy, I'm sure we'll see you in the studio again sometime soon. All right, thanks. And can you also talk about, if you don't mind, the wonderful, amazing book that you have up here?
As long as I don't knock it over, sure.
Oh.
This is our 100th anniversary yearbook.
Oh my! Ugh,
So
this thing is
it's
amazingly
heavy. It's a big one.
Let's check this out. Look at this. It's got this wonderful, awesome logo on it with this huge seal. This is great. Yeah.
So it covers every trooper, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, like all of them are in that book.
Wow.
Photo-wise, but then we also have a little bit of a history in there and then photos throughout the years in that yearbook.
That is amazing. Wonderful. Now, can people that just have, that just really care about law enforcement and, care about the history, are they able to purchase one of these, or
I believe
how
so.
is this? Okay.
I believe so. On the michigan.gov/MSP website, there is a spot that I believe that they can go and get it from, whether it's our canteen that we have that has all of our MSP stuff or something along that. At the very least, check out the museum. I'm pretty sure they have them there too.
Yeah. No, well, and it's interesting too, because I was reading up on some interesting facts about, the 100th year anniversary of the Michigan State Police. Now, see, back then when they first started, horses were the main mode of transportation for an officer in 1917. Do you still use horses?
We do not.
Do
we
not.
have anywhere from a Charger to a Tahoe to our Ford Explorers. But then we also have our motor unit. So we have motorcycles,
Okay.
and then we actually just started a bicycle
Oh, wow.
crew as well.
Okay.
So we've got
So
a little
you
bit
use
of everything.
horsepower instead of horses
Yes,
now.
exactly.
There we go.
Horsepower and human power with our bike detail.
Wow, there we go. And today, troopers on average drive over 125 miles during their daily patrol. That is a long way.
Easy. Wow. Here in Washtenaw, kids, we cover all of the expressway, and then we cover whatever township the sheriff's department doesn't. So we may be in one end of the county and have to go to the very opposite corner in a shift a couple of times. So 120. That's an easy 120 miles in a shift.
Well, that's
for
a lot
sure.
of gas.
Yes.
Geez. What do you usually use in a standard patrol vehicle? Is it like premium, or is it like what?
No, just on regular unleaded.
Oh, regular
Yep.
unleaded. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. All right. No, there we go. And then, in 1917, the uniforms are actually quite different. So troopers wore a khaki and forest green uniform, consisting of military tunics with breeches, and they also had sort of a, campaign-style hat or Stetson.
Right.
Right. But now, of course, you have the wonderful dark blue,
Yes.
Navy uniform or gray uniform that was standard in 1961, along with, of course, the hat that was recently added again in recognition of the 100th anniversary. So
Correct.
interesting history there of, you know, the mode of transportation, of course, but also the uniform. You think you'll ever break out the forest green again?
My guess is no. I don't think so. I think we'll be blue for the duration. I mean, we got to match our cars, right?
No, definitely, definitely. And really quick too, I wanted to just, you know, ask you, for those that are watching and for those, you know, young Ann Arborites that just have that knack for law enforcement and wanting to be an officer, what advice do you have to them?
If you want to be in law enforcement, just make sure it's something that you're passionate about. I mean, we see a lot of things, there's a lot of things we deal with, and you have to be able to handle that. But if you can, it's the best job there is. I mean, I got in this at age 35. I've got 5 years in, and it's the best decision I ever made.
Wow, that is amazing. Well, and thank you, everything Trooper Sivy, that you do with the Michigan State Police. And, you know, I want to give a big thank you, of course, you know, to your branch in Brighton and everyone involved for doing a wonderful job. And congratulations on the 100th anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank Trooper Olivia Sivy for joining us in studio and hope that you enjoyed the program. Please be sure to tune into Ann Arbor Inclusive next month. And as always, stay awesome, Ann Arbor.